Welcome, my lords,
to ABNERDITY. Welcome to ABNERDITY, a monthly show on very tasty productions where we talk on an absurd level about the things that I like to nerd out about. I'm Matt Tasty Saporito, and this month my co-host is Elliott Iannello of the Shire. This month we are going to talk about The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, the latest movie by Peter Jackson journeying back into Middle-earth. For those of you unfamiliar with The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien's universe, it was written by J.R.R. Tolkien, published back in 1937. The Hobbit is a precursor to The Lord of the Rings, the epic adventure where Frodo and the Fellowship, which really kind of falls apart, they walk all the way to Mount Doom to get rid of the evil...
Ring of Power.
The Ring of Power, Sauron's ring. There were several rings forged way back.
9 of them.
For men.
Nine for the men, 3 for the
And
elves,
5
5 for the dwarven kings.
Your nerd is showing.
I know, right? This pretty much is the big grand explanation. This is putting it on a basic level, by the way. This is not by any means what The Hobbit is. The Hobbit is a standalone piece. But
written before Lord of the Rings.
yeah. But for the non-Lord of the Ring nerd, this is basically a long explanation for how the ring came into the Shire.
Yep.
How Frodo got the ring and why he was the one that had to take it to Mount Doom.
I do.
11 years ago, Lord of the Rings trilogy, starting with The Fellowship of the Ring and then The Two Towers and The Return of the King. Tonight we're going to watch the midnight premiere of The Hobbit. So we're working on a bit of a time crunch here because we're going to do our predictions of the movie, where it's going to end, talk about a couple other things, and then afterwards we're going to do a review. We're going to drink some rocket fuel and get that done.
As soon as we exit the theater.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Exclusive. Probably the fastest review you'll ever see on the internet.
Yeah, around like 4 a.m.
Something like that.
Well, let's talk about controversies. One of the first things that people talked about with this movie coming out was that it was going to be shot at 48 frames per second.
That is correct.
In 3D, which is...
First of its kind.
48 frames per second, if you're not familiar, is really fast. We're shooting at 24 frames per second right now. Most movies shoot at 24 frames per second in 1080p or higher. This movie was actually shot in 5K resolution.
Yes. Ridiculous.
There might be some diagrams on the screen.
Here, down here is like 1080p, out here is like 500.
Yeah, and then like 4K is like right there.
Yeah.
You need a projector the size of a refrigerator, roughly, to project 5K. At 48 frames per second, is that too fast? Are we going to be able to see things that we normally wouldn't see? There was some talk that people could see the prosthetics on the beards. They could see that it was a fake beard, clearly, and that took people out of the movie. What do you think?
I have all the faith in the world in Weta Workshop on the prosthetics. I think they're going to do an amazing job, and then also they're probably going to go in post-production and clean up a lot of the lines that you'll see around the eyes on the prosthetics for the 48 frames per second. The movie's really shot and was produced to be seen in IMAX. That's just the bottom line on it. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that privilege tonight, but we might venture out.
This is a common thing. It's happening in video games. It's not happening in movies. It's called the uncanny valley, and that's the line between where something looks too realistic in a movie or, like I said earlier, a video game, where at that point it becomes so realistic that you become taken out of the movie, out of the fantasy that they're trying to sell. This is a gray area for me, because with movies and then with video games lately, with this whole graphical mountain that they're climbing, you want it to look as good as possible. But at the same time, you have that boundary that people seem unwilling to cross.
I think that comes down to really the art direction behind the product. From what I've seen from production stills, I think they nailed it. I don't think there's really anything to worry about. And then this really smart thing is they're releasing 4 different versions.
That's true.
You get your pick.
We're seeing it in 24 frames per second, 3D.
That's probably what most people see it in. Got a few predictions though, Matt.
Yes.
Got a few prophecies, if you will allow me to indulge myself. I'm predicting, ever since that I heard that Peter Jackson was delving into some appendices material, that we were going to see Dol Guldur in The Hobbit. The name itself isn't in the book. It's a really quick, brief reference to it. I believe they refer to it as the Dungeons of the Necromancer. In the book The Hobbit, really early on in the book, Dol Guldur is a fortress that Sauron built in Mirkwood. But it's really important because it's going to tie in the Hobbit tale to the Lord of the Rings. I expect to see that in the movie. I also expect to see Thranduil, That's the Elven Lord, and I bet you Legolas makes an appearance because that's his dad.
He's actually cast in the movie. Orlando Bloom.
There you go.
Is cast in the movie. That was announced a while ago.
Not
and actually,
in the book,
if you've seen the production vlogs, there's actually one where he's there in full like
that's
costume,
awesome.
And he's just chilling. He's following Peter Jackson around with a camera. I might find an image of that later.
I think Jackson's going to actually stay pretty formulaic and kind of match up with what he did with Fellowship and open this film with a history piece. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to see how the dwarves actually lose Erebor, the Lonely Mountain that they're questing for. That means we're probably going to see Thror, or Thorin's grandfather, and how the dwarves lose it to Smaug. And you might even see, look out for the name Azog, who's the goblin that kills Thor.
Oh yeah, the Goblin King.
The Goblin King. Well, different Goblin King.
The last thing we're going to talk about before we go to the movie.
Theme, because I think that's what makes the whole work so powerful, is this little golden thread that runs through not only all of Lord of the Rings, but even The Hobbit, and that's hope. It's a theme of hope. It sounds kind of corny and cheesy, but I think that's what really makes everything work. Behind all this fantasy and grandeur, there's a very human element to it. Despite all the odds and pessimism that the characters face, they still always hold on to the fact that, not to steal Samwise Gamgee's quote from Two Towers, but I think it's the best part of the best line in the whole trilogy is, there's good in the world and it's worth fighting for. And I think that's what attracted me to the book so much as a kid, and I think that's why it's so endearing to audiences moving forward, is the message of hope that he imparts.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. I was actually going to reference Samwise Gamgee if you didn't bring it up, because The Lord of the Rings is where my real
nerd heart to heart.
We do have a nerd heart to heart here.
A bromance.
A bromant. We had a huge bromant. Love you, man. Because Sam's actually my favorite character from The Lord of the Rings. For that very reason, he never loses hope. He always has faith that they're going to come back. Like, there's that moment between him and Frodo where he's rationing out the food.
Right.
And he's like, well, what do you think? I think we'll have enough. And he's like, what for? For the return home. Samwise has always been my favorite character for those reasons. Plus, he completely killed Shelob.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene. Can't deny that.
He is the fiercest hobbit.
He is the fiercest hobbit. And he's his gardener, not his gardener.
He's just a gardener. So now we're gonna go see the movie, but in the meantime, we're gonna get into some shenanigans, talk to some people. So stay tuned. All right, so we're here at the midnight premiere for The Hobbit, and I'm here with Stephen Patrick. Have you read any of Tolkien's work before?
Yeah, I have. It's been a long time, but I've always been a real big Tolkien fan.
I read the first two Lord of the Rings books, and then I read The Hobbit, and I'm working on the third one now. So I just finished reading it.
Yeah, I'd read The Hobbit twice, once for school and once before for myself, and I've seen the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am very familiar with Tolkien's work. I love The Hobbit.
You guys are seeing this in 3D, correct?
What makes you say that?
Because those aren't 3D. Those aren't 3D glasses.
I read these all the time.
Yeah. I mean, they're super cool. We've been preparing for months. Look, they say The Hobbit and everything.
It's like that microphone's coming right at you.
Like paint that on
kind of
there?
scary.
Did you just paint that on there? Is that the thing?
It's a very
No,
talented
they
artist.
came like this way. We have ins with the crew.
Whoa! Yeah. All right, what are you most excited about in this movie?
Most excited? The dwarf song, probably.
The dwarf song. That's going to make the whole movie for you. After that, you can just leave. So you're going to be in there for like 15 minutes and then just leave?
Yeah, yep, pretty much.
All right, cool. Have you guys seen the Lord of the Rings movies?
Yes, I have.
And how do you feel about those movies?
They're all right, I guess.
Just all right.
No, they're phenomenal.
All right.
No, but I have plans to watch a Lord of the Rings movie marathon over break.
A marathon.
Yeah.
That's going to be a long affair.
I'm excited about Gollum because people tell me I do a really good Gollum impression.
Can I hear your Gollum impression? All right.
A second. All right, ready? Are we good? All right. So.
Can we be friends?
Yes.
What kind of stuff do you think they might add into this movie, or would you be interested in seeing put into this movie, since it's 3 movies?
Pretty much any new stuff is welcome. I know some maybe diehard Tolkien fans might be a bit peeved off at the idea, but I'm liking to see anything new put into it.
Anything new, even if Tolkien didn't write it. Because I'm picturing like they just throw a clown in there randomly.
Maybe not that.
Hey guys, I'm here with some residents from Middle Earth. Oh my god. And we're going to play Hobbit trivia. So, hope you guys are ready because I don't know, I really know a lot about Middle Earth. That's why they picked me to be the dork on the show. So, my first question is for
Kelsey.
Okay, Kelsey, nice to meet you. Name all 13 dwarves that we're going to see tonight.
Okay, there's Thorin, Gloin, Oin, Biffer, Boffer, Bofer, Nori, Ori, Dory, Keely, Feely, and I'm missing 2, Dwellin, Ballin.
She got him. So, we're going to give you a prize for that. So, how about a Bilbo bobblehead?
Oh, sweet.
So, Bilbo bobblehead for Kelsey.
Thank you very much.
So, Gandalf, Saruman, and Radagast are all wizards in Middle-earth. But that's not really what they're called. It's a Quenya word, which is an Elvish language. What is the word? What is the official title of the group of wizards that is assigned to be guardians for Middle-earth?
Like the Elvish name?
The Elvish name. I'm looking for the Elvish name.
The Elvish name for wizards.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
It's cool. You still get the prize if you don't know it. It's cool. It starts with an I, ends with an Astari. It's the Astari. It's the Astari. What is the tree on my shirt?
It's the White Tree of Gondor.
Nice. What is an Elvish, I think it's Elvish. Yeah, it's Elvish. What's the name of the mountain, Elvish name for the mountain on his shirt?
I don't know that.
Erebor. But thanks for being good sports. You get that.
Thank you.
And then since she got the Erebor question, that's the key to Erebor.
Oh.
That's a keychain to Erebor. That's a mug with the whole cast on it. So, yeah. All right, that's it for Hobbit trivia. Can we get a big hand for our elves or people?
Well, we're also on YouTube. Our channel is Sophie and Wacky Acker.
Spelling that is fun.
Yeah. We do a lot of just random comedy stuff. We do rage. We go on random
Rants all the time.
Yeah.
We're working on a lot more videos, and we're trying to get them up as soon as possible. So.
I think I just saw like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
That.
Like.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think that pigtail girl with braces said it best. Go see The Hobbit. That's really all there is to it, is go see The Hobbit.
So, here it is, our video review of The Hobbit. No spoilers though, for the people. I mean, this is
clean. The performances.
Yeah.
What did you think of the performances?
Were pretty fantastic from all the people that had
Martin Freeman's the perfect Bilbo. All the heart of the movie, and rightfully so, because it's the same in the book. Mm-hmm. He carries the emotional core of the movie.
He was great.
And then Ian McKellen is always
Ian McKellen
fantastic,
consistently
as Gandalf.
fantastic.
And
the guy who played Radagast
was amazing too.
I'd love to see him in more stuff. Cinematography in this movie was right off the bat. I noticed this was the most gorgeous looking movie I've seen in years.
All the angles and flyover shots and the vistas of New Zealand and just the filtering, the coloring they did with the movie.
Oh, the color was fantastic.
It was just,
Yeah.
It's the Avatar can eat its heart out because The Hobbit is by far the best looking movie out there.
And before this, I had seen The Avengers, and I thought, oh, this is a fantastic looking movie.
No.
Nothing can top this. Then I watched The Hobbit. They blended CG with the environments of New Zealand with their brilliant 5K cameras and made the most beautiful movie I've ever seen visually.
It was faithful to the lore, the original book. It was very faithful to the original book, but there's a line actually in the beginning that Ian Holmes gives, the old Bilbo.
Yeah,
good stories should be embellished or something like it was to that effect. And The Hobbit is a good story, and Peter Jackson definitely embellishes it because the whole There's a whole scene where they're in the Misty Mountains, and I think you know which one I'm talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's in the trailer. It's in the trailer, but that is definitely not in the book. But it works. I thought it worked well on the screen.
Final thoughts. The Hobbit was a fantastic movie from start to finish. Like we discussed, there was no part in this movie where I was bored. It was 2 hours and 50 minutes that felt much shorter. It was great. And once again, visually stunning. The performances, the actors that had a chance to perform in this movie, and realize there's so many characters that it's understandable that not all of them got to perform. All in all, the music, the cinematography, the story, all the little details that weren't in the novel that were added that worked. I'd give this movie like a 9.5 out of 10.
I totally agree with you. Peter Jackson proves once again that he is the king of Middle-earth. There is no one better on the planet right now than bringing that world to life.
I envy him.
And just from start to finish, it was outstanding. It was great fun. It was just awesome. I'm going to have to give it a 9.4. I'm going to have to lowball you just a little bit, Matt, just because the Pixar-ness of the Goblin King in the mind really just didn't really work for me. But other than that, go see this movie. Just go see it. Go now. Why are you watching this for?
Just go. Go see the movie,
Go
please.
see the movie. Actually, I'm going to go see it again, so later.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. You can follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. You can also follow the show /Very Tasty Productions on Facebook. Links also in the description. Thanks to everyone that did interviews. You guys were fantastic. You guys were just great. I'm glad you participated. Thanks a lot, guys. Also, check out Sofici and Wacky Acker's channel. Links in the description. Thanks a lot, guys.
Are we in a goblin cave? I'm in a goblin cave.
Section.
We better get out of here. We better go. Let's go.